How Dr. Disrespect lost his entire audience in 3 days.
Oh, is this the guy that was diddling kids?
These are the accusations that
he was diddling
are
kids?
Related, yeah.
In creator history, going from being one of the most respected and popular streamers on the internet to being hated by everyone after admitting some awfully disturbing actions.
He was talking inappropriately with a
I like how my
minor.
computer is like, we've got options ranging from 140 pixels to 4K HD quality. What do we think Chris would like the most? Let's put him in at 140.
I love when it does that.
It's like this scumbag needs to be banned off of the platforms that he's on.
I don't know who's really going to support him at this point. Like, what kind of person is going to watch Dr. Disrespect? If you watch him at this point, you just have to be coping.
But what are all these? What are all these
anarchist.
like vicious, vile, fucking termites that just come out of the ground, these cockroaches that just come through the holes in the walls and the ceilings, and just they're waiting for a controversy to like tear people down. I don't know about you, but I've never been like on the edge of my seat, like, waiting for that Twitter fucking notification to come in that like, some shit's happened to somebody. Let me go on and like attack. I hate that venom in the culture. I really do.
Same, but that's been going on for over a decade. It's really crazy.
I know, but people won't even like do it like in a sly way. Like you can do it in like a subtle way, like go on Twitter or whatever. This guy in particular is like, let me get my camera set up. Let me go on and not even shave.
That's been over a decade. Like
and my worn fucking sweater. Like he probably has, I would guess, 5% of Dr. Disrespect's audience, and let me shit on him and be like, let's wait until your fucking skeletons come out of the closet, buddy. Like I bet you, I can only imagine the shit you're hiding.
I don't know who's really going to support him at this point. Like, what kind of person is going to watch Dr. Disrespect? If you watch him at this point, you just have to be coping, basically.
Hi, I'm the Internet Anarchist.
Yeah,
I create
bro,
weekly YouTube documentaries, and today
coping.
we'll be diving into the case of Dr. Disrespect, a once beloved streamer who is now being viewed as a unfaithful predator. But to fully understand the current situation,
We'll get through this, Champions Club. I know it's a tough. Life's weird right now. We'll get through this, okay? And
Hey, Christopher.
fuck.
You get to try.
this strange behavior would leave viewers to leave comments such as, "Whatever's coming, it ain't gonna be a small matter." That mood he gets into near the end, "I'm scared." As well as 242, "I kind of wanted to get off, and now I don't want to get off." He realized it would be his last stream ever, so he said that. Despite these comments, no one could have been prepared for the real reason he was actually banned. In August of 2020, Doc would return to streaming, but this time on YouTube. His first stream on the platform attracted a massive audience.
So yeah, he was banned
seemingly
on Twitch, which is, you know what Twitch is, right?
Yeah,
it's a streaming platform.
Back stronger than ever, going on to claim that he had no idea why he was even banned in the first place.
Why did you get banned? Guess what? I want you to look me in the fucking eyes when I say this. We still have no idea.
Over the following 4
bullshit.
years, his ban would remain a mystery, and he would grow his YouTube channel to over 4.7 million subscribers, and continue to be one of the most popular streamers on the internet. But this would all completely change in 2024. On the 22nd of June, Cody Connors, an ex-Twitch employee, would make a tweet that would mark the beginning of the end for Dr. Disrespect. The tweet read, "He got banned because he got caught texting a minor in the then existing Twitch Whispers product. He was trying to meet up with her at TwitchCon. The powers that be could read in plain text. Case closed, gang." The tweet was making big claims with little to no evidence to back them up, and the reaction from the internet would be extremely mixed, with some jumping to the conclusion that he's a creep despite the lack of evidence, and others waiting to hear more about the situation or calling Cody an unreliable source of information, with comments reading, "Hey Doc, I heard you like him young. We need sources
That's
and
a
more
banger
information,
tweet.
like who,
That's
as
a
well
great
as
fucking
source,
tweet.
just trust me bro." While Cody's tweet didn't explicitly mention Dr. Disrespect, Jake Lucky's repost would result in a response from Doc that would ultimately make the situation so much worse. "Jake, seriously, I get it, it's a hot topic, but this has been settled. No wrongdoing was acknowledged, and they paid out the whole contract." The
I don't know how.
but this has been settled. No wrongdoing was acknowledged, and they paid out the whole contract.
I don't love that. You know what's crazy? It's like in politics, there's this saying, when you're explaining, you're losing.
Yeah.
I think it kind of applies to more to life in general in a lot of ways.
If they pay, then he's fine.
They did pay out the whole contract, but he's still not fine, as evidenced by things just mount and mount and mount. Like the fact that he even responded to this guy, I think he would have been best to just ignore it. Like that's what I've learned from bigger creators and stuff like that who used to respond to every comment, and then they learned like, yo, there's just some people you can't please. Like there's some sociopaths out there who you just can't.
Yeah, but
please.
if you got paid, that's like the ultimate like proof you did nothing wrong.
Yeah, but
Because
you
do
and
one thing
I.
wrong, everyone tries to not pay you.
But Nick, you and I are sensible people that we see that. There's a lot of children out there watching these videos that are not sensible and don't understand that, and they will just be like, oh, you texted a minor, you end his career. He texted a 17-year-old, done.
Yes.
But
The tweet
we'll
would
watch
garner
the rest
significant
for-
criticism for the strange and concerning use of vague and legalese language, leaving readers wondering why Doc said no wrongdoing was acknowledged, instead of just denying the career-ending
See what they
allegations.
fucking do?
Following the significant backlash, Doc would
They-
make another
they
response on
take
the
it piece by
situation,
piece.
adding a bit more context, stating, listen, I'm obviously tied to legal obligations from
They're
the settlement
explaining
with
you're
Twitch.
losing, brother. It's just
He is talking a little too much.
rule one of holes. When you find yourself in one, stop digging.
Yeah, he's talking a little too much.
But I just need to say what I can say, since this is the
Oh, why are they texting
Dude, how
back?
much money do you think this guy got
Like
off this
me
video?
anymore?
He's got
I'm scared to ask for
in-video
reassurance
ads.
to TV. What?
In-video
I scared
ads.
of a baby.
How many?
internet.
How many
I
views
didn't do
does this
anything
video have?
wrong, and all of this has been
3.9.
proved and settled.
Oh,
Nothing
wow.
illegal, no wrongdoing
That's
was
a lot.
found, and I was paid Elden Ring Monday. While this tweet was better than the first, it still had strange language, like no wrongdoing was found, and that he was quote
No wrongdoing
paid.
was found.
Ultimately, the tweet
was
would result
paid,
in an
bitch.
even more polarizing response from the
I'm rich,
community,
bitch.
with large figures such as the
I
Axeman
was
coming to his
paid.
defense, stating, degenerate troglodyte losers are trying to slander him with serious accusations that could destroy his entire career, while providing literally zero proof. In other words, some pussies have a vendetta/grudge against him
That's the
and want
biggest
to
thing
damage
you
his
need when you're a big creator and shit goes down, is you need people in your corner. That's the one thing I've noticed. Like, nobody was in Kevin Spacey's corner. That's why he hasn't been working in Hollywood for 7 years or whatever it is.
But you should just say, I got paid. Do what you want.
Elden Ring Monday.
Yeah.
So yeah, you need people in your corner. The same thing with PewDiePie. I don't know if you know this, but PewDiePie got into some huge hot water in like 2018, and I'm not trying to drudge things up.
I don't know the
everybody,
details, but
everybody knows this. He was playing a campaign on some fucking online video game, and he got too heated, and some guy was sniping in like a corner somewhere, whatever, like being annoying, and he said this fucking N-word, and it was almost like a slip of the tongue type
Is he
thing.
black?
No, it was just
that's
it was just online internet bashing, like just to a
Oh,
random guy, yeah. And
Can't
so
do that, you're gonna keep-
yeah, it was the thing. But a lot of people came to his defense with the blue check mark, and when you got enough blue check marks on your side, you won't be able to like save everything because he lost a lot of sponsorships, as you would imagine. You know, you say the N-word, you're going to lose a fuck ton of sponsorships, but he was able to keep his career, and he's now still like his audience. So that's, you know.
Yeah.
reputation as much as possible, and others critiquing his use of vague language against such serious allegations. Bro, why won't you say, I was not talking to a minor trying to meet up with her at TwitchCon like what was alleged,
would've just
but
said I got
things
paid.
were about to get much, much worse. On the 24th of June, while Stock was streaming Elden Ring, a game company he co-founded would make a tweet that would change everything. Reading, on Friday evening, we became aware of an allegation against one of our co-founders, Guy Beam, aka Dr. Disrespect. We assumed his innocence and began speaking with parties involved. And in order to maintain our principles and standards as a studio and individuals, we needed to act. For this reason,
Yes,
we are
we
terminating
needed to
our
act.
relationship with Guy Beam immediately. While these facts are difficult to hear and even more difficult to accept, it is our duty to act with dignity on behalf of all individuals involved, especially the 55 developers and families we've employed, along with our community of players. The tweet went live while Stock was streaming, and viewers claim this is the exact moment he saw the post.
You know how you run things. Here.
That's kind of funny.
You just lost $1 million, sir.
He's like, I'm going to the casino. Fuck it.
Towards the end of the stream, Doc
He's really
seemingly
fucking
came to
tall,
terms with
actually. He's like
reality and
6'9".
what was awaiting him in the near future.
I think
And
when I
he's,
say
like,
step
in
away,
his
I think
40s.
either have to relay this to the Midnight Society, but maybe I step away from there too. Just completely remove myself from the
That
scene.
music, by the way, is just like
what
the video game pause music.
Yeah, that's what I said.
How fucking, what's it called? Apropos.
Yeah.
I respect his decision. He basically just said, fuck it, I made enough money. This was about 3-4 weeks ago when this happened. He basically said, fuck it, I made enough money. I didn't want to deal with this shit. The shit got brought up again 4 years later. I'm just gonna ride off into the sunset.
I mean, that's kind of the best way to handle it. Man.
Yeah, I mean, how much money do you really need? And I guess, ride off into the sunset, right?
Yeah.
But we'll let
I need
him
to do.
speak in his own words.
The following day, on the 26th of June 2024, Dr. Disrespect would post a tweet that would not only possibly end his career, but completely confirm the reason he was banned from Twitch, with his response reading, "The Twitch ban. Hello, I'd like to make a quick statement. I've always been upfront and real with you guys on anything that I can be upfront about, and I'm always willing to accept responsibility, which is why I'm here now. First and foremost, I do want to apologize to everyone in my community, as well as those close to me, my team, and everyone at Midnight Society Game Studio. A lot of people have been left in the dark about what happened yesterday with Midnight Society and I, and we made the painful decision collectively to have me step down. Our team is full of incredibly talented and good people that have high career ambitions and families, and I'd never want to jeopardize the culture we have carefully crafted. Everyone has been wanting to know why I was banned from Twitch, but for reasons outside my control, I wasn't allowed to say anything for the last several years. Now that 2 former Twitch employees have publicly disclosed the accusations, I can now tell you my side of the story regarding the ban. Were there Twitch whisper messages with an individual minor back in 2017? The answer is yes. Were there real intentions behind these messages? The answer is absolutely not. These were casual, mutual conversations that sometimes leaned too much in the direction of being inappropriate, but nothing more. Nothing illegal happened, no pictures were shared, no crimes were committed. I never even met the individual. I went through a lengthy arbitration regarding a civil dispute with Twitch.
It's like in
that case was
it's like in that show that used to be popular with Chris Hansen, To Catch a Predator, where they're like, I haven't done anything yet. You can't be like Minority Report, arrest me for a crime before it happened. And then they're like, sir, going to a house to meet a girl and talk sex with her on the internet is already illegal. And they're like, gosh darn it. They got me.
resolved by a settlement. Let me be clear, it was not a criminal case against me, and no criminal charges have ever been brought against me. Now, from a moral standpoint, I'll absolutely take responsibility. I should have never entertained these conversations to begin with. That's on me. That's on me as an adult, a husband, and a father. It should have never happened. I get it, I'm not perfect, and I'll fucking own my shit. This was stupid. Now, with all this said, don't get it mistaken. I've seen all the remarks and labels being thrown around so loosely. Social media is a destruction zone. I'm no predator or PDF file. Are you kidding me? Anyone that truly knows me knows where I stand on those things. With those types of people, F that. That's a different level of disgust that I hate even hearing about. Don't be labeling me as the worst of the worst with your exaggerations. Get the F out of here with that shit. But I think I've said what I needed to say regarding the ban itself. That's it. That's why Twitch made the decision in 2020. Said, oh, we love you, can't appreciate real life and think I'm a piece of shit. That's fine, but I'm not effing going anywhere. I'm not the same guy that made this mistake all those years ago. I'm taking an extended vacation with my family as mentioned on stream, and I'm coming back with a heavy weight off my shoulders. They want me to disappear, yeah right. Following the response, Stock would continue to edit the tweet, removing the word minor and then adding it back in due to backlash, with a reply stating, he edited out minor, got caught on it, and then edited it back in. Probably dig even deeper into his history, with user Chrissy digging up a clip of Doc allegedly admitting to cheating on his wife at the 2017 TwitchCon, which also happens to be the same year he was allegedly messaging the minor to find out what she was doing at the convention.
As you guys know, I have a beautiful family and a wife and kid, and I want to be transparent that I've been unfaithful.
I have some sympathy for guys who go from like 0 viewers, 0 money to all of a sudden making millions and millions of viewers, because as men you know, like so many guys have talked about, like, you know, how hard monogamy is because you got to be faithful to one woman and you make commitment when you get married, et cetera, et cetera. But a lot of people are saying that, like, oh, how hard it is without having the opportunity to do anything else. You know what I mean? Like, their options are extremely limited and not that all that attractive or non-existent, and it's all in their head. Like, oh, I'm batting off all these women. It's a huge culture shock when, or it's a huge shock to your brain when all of a sudden those feelings and those impulses become real and tangible, and people are throwing it back in you. So all the women who you're like, I gotta, you know, bat these women off with a stick. I'm married. Get away from me. It actually turns into that real situation. Like, you actually have whores, you know, rows and rows, busloads of whores doing anything to suck your dick. Like, it is crazy. Like, groupies. Like, it's a real fucking thing.
But that's kind of the same thing with athletes. Like,
I just was saying anybody who goes from not being wealthy to being wealthy, or not being famous to being famous, oh my God, I can't even imagine the amount of just unsolicited pussy that is thrown in your direction, or if you're gay, dick, you know, or you're bi, whatever. Just the amount of sex that is thrown at your face constantly. It is crazy. I mean, obviously, still you made a commitment to your wife when you got married, blah blah blah, but yeah, you can't be on our side of the equation and then throw shade on that side of the equation. We can't even begin to wrap our heads around how different it is from a social perspective.
but I think that isn't a lot though, with like rock stars, TV stars.
Yeah, oh no, all of
actors.
them, all of them. Yeah, it's across the board. It's all of them.
Yeah, anyone that just randomly became a star like overnight.
Correct.
So there's a lot of people up there.
And rock stars get a pass for it. Have you noticed that too? Rock stars get a pass for it, but when Tiger Woods does it, it's like, oh my God, he was the Pope. Before this, he was, you know, Cardinal Woods, and then he fucking did this. We gotta, you know, destroy his career. It's like, shut the fuck up.
Yeah.
He's a human just like us, and if he wants to fool around, he can fool around, you know? It's not, he wasn't Bill Clinton. He wasn't the president. He was a PGA, you know, tour guy. Like, what the fuck are we doing?
Well, no,
holding him to such a high standard.
It's probably because I think a lot of the companies that sponsored him were family companies, and then a lot of them dropped it. So,
I mean,
a lot of them dropped it because they couldn't sponsor someone that like wasn't faithful.
you're a company, you're a private company, do what you will, but I hope people keep the receipts. You know what I mean? Like, I hope if Nabisco, I'm just naming a random company, Nabisco supports and gives money to Tiger Woods and then he cheats on his wife, right? Which, whatever, it's not a crime, okay? He does that, whatever, and then they drop him. I hope that the next rising star who comes around, right, whoever it might be, Michael B. Jordan, let's say, I hope, and then Nabisco tries to send him a check to be his sponsor. I hope those guys keep the receipts and they say, at least they say, hey, we're going to structure a contract in a way that you can't drop me if a non-illegal allegation comes out. Because I saw what you did to Tiger Woods and I fucking remember that shit. So you're not going to do the same thing to me. You're not going to pretend like I have millions of dollars just to snatch it from me.
They should, but the problem is a lot of contracts aren't set up like that.
And a lot of people forget. A lot of people just forget. Like, they remember the outrage, they don't remember the fallout, and they don't remember the names. They should. You should remember that Disney
No, I think a lot of people
gives people bags and then takes them away
No, but dude, everyone
at the
knows
first
that-
sign of trouble.
Everyone knows how Tiger was. It was like Nike and like ESPN. Like,
Yeah, and so when Nike tries to give you a bag, you should hold their feet to the fire. Like, for anybody, and I'm saying you, I'm saying anybody.
yeah, but I'm saying like people aren't gonna forget that.
I hope not.
The response from the YouTube community was brutal to say the least, with creators such as Penguin Zero, Some Ordinary Gamers, and Coffeezilla all making
I
videos on
genuinely
the
don't know two
situation
of the three
and
of
calling
those
out
guys.
Dog for his disgusting
any of them.
behavior during Penguin Zero, aka Charlie's
This
video,
guy
who would
is the one I
completely
know.
destroy Dog, first addressing how he sneakily edited his tweet multiple times.
Now, the doc actually edited this statement twice.
So initially he posted it with the word minor in it, saying, were there messages with an individual minor? The answer is yes. But then shortly after he published it, he edited the word minor out of it. So he removed that. He redacted it like fucking CIA. He just edited it one more time to put the word minor back into it.
Charlie would also critique Doc's strange ending of the tweet, stating,
He tries to close this statement with a really hard, cheesy 80s action movie one-liner. They want me to disappear. Yeah, fucking right. Granny shifting, not double clutching like you should. You're lucky you didn't blow the welds off the intake. I'm not leaving. It's really kind of ridiculous to put that there with accusations like this.
Finally, Charlie would counter the argument that Doc possibly didn't know the age of the minor he was talking to.
Now, what's not clear and what a lot of people are coping with is that maybe Dr. Disrespect didn't know the age of the person he was communicating with. But I truly feel if that was the case, Dr. Disrespect would have mentioned that, saying that he had those communications with this person that he believed was of age but turned out to be a minor. I think if that was the reality of that situation, if he truly communicated with someone that he thought was of age but turned out to be a minor, I think he would have mentioned that in this statement, but he didn't. He didn't say that he was under the impression he was communicating with an adult. He just says that he had conversations with an individual minor. He doesn't say anything like, oh, they were actually one day away from being 18, or I really thought they were, in their 20s, or anything like that. And I think if that was what happened, it would have been mentioned here. I really do.
To make matters even worse, even his previous friends and defenders took a stance against him after he admitted he was having an inappropriate conversation with a minor, with Nick Merck stating,
Yo, checking in, seeing everything on Twitter, and I read through Doc's tweet, and in that very tweet, he basically confirms that, he was texting an underage girl.
Let's jump forward to where Doc
sometime.
basically just, walks away.
But
based on his response, he's planning on taking a break and returning as usual. However, only time will tell if he'll make a comeback from such disgusting and character-ruining behavior. Whether he was legally charged or not, that does not change the court of public opinion. And being in your late 30s having inappropriate interactions with a minor is career-ending no matter how good your reputation is. I think Mudaha put it well.
At the end of the day, this is just a gross thing to be doing. And there is no defense for this kind of behavior. And I firmly believe, as, even on YouTube, this guy shouldn't even be streaming anywhere. What is proven is if you are interacting in a negative fashion with anybody that is a minor, you are not to be trusted on any social media platform whatsoever.
It really seems like this is the beginning of the end for Dr. Disrespect's reputation and career, with new articles coming out from inside sources claiming he did know the age of the victim and was sexting with them, YouTube removing him from their partner program, and his YouTube channel losing over 50,000 subscribers within just days of his response going live. The more information that comes out revolving around the situation, the worse it begins to look for Dr. Disrespect. Over the coming weeks, it's likely that he will lose hundreds of thousands of subscribers and possibly have one of the biggest downfalls in recent creator history, alongside Illuminati, who lost her entire audience. Click the video on screen to find out more.
I profit from other people's misery.
he's chilling, bro. He made millions. He's in his late 30s. I don't give a fuck.
No, I'm talking about the guy who made this video.
No, probably.
He was like, do you like misery? Watch this video
Disrespect
now to see some more
and
misery.
possibly have one of the biggest downfalls.
Chilling, the guy that made the video.
Oh yeah, he's doing well for himself.
Has he gotten a lot of subscribers since then?
He's at a little over 1 million, and this video has 4.2 million views. Maybe we should do this instead. This sounds like a good fucking way to make some money. All right, let's break it down for a minute.
You want to just do YouTube reviews?
Try to be a little less drunk if you could. What do you think about the whole, bro? What do you think about the whole Dr. Disrespect situation now that you had a chance to watch the video?
He did old kids. I don't know how you come back from that, but he's also pretty successful and pretty.
Well, okay.
Good.
Well, let's not
defame
him. He didn't diddle kids. He was caught. At least that's not proven. He was caught contacting one through
Yeah, definitely
Twitch chat. No, just messaging. And apparently the messages got to a sexual place. Let me throw out 3 things, and I know I'm gonna be the odd man out on this one. I know that. I know that everybody's already accused him in the YouTube court of public opinion. He's fucked. All right. So, but let me just play devil's advocate for a minute here. Okay. Point number 1. Did anybody ever figure out the age of the person? Because I personally think it makes a huge difference if she's 17 versus 12. That's just me.
That is a big difference.
I don't think minor is just like a term of like minor. Like you fucked a 17-year-old versus you fucked a 4-year-old. I don't think it should be the same punishment. Just because they're both
That
minors.
is accurate.
Okay?
That is accurate.
So 1, I want more information, right? Number 2, I think this causes a bigger question. If you are a public persona that attracts young people as viewers, I mean, like a Justin Bieber, let's say, is the rule that you're not allowed to respond to any DMs or any tweets or anybody who's underage? Is that the rule? Because that didn't used to be the rule, but is that the rule? Like, you tell me. I don't know.
Yeah, probably.
So that's the new rule?
Pretty much, yeah.
Okay. Because there's a video
It's always been a rule.
there's a video of Drake kissing a 16-year-old who went on stage who was a fan of his, and everybody was at the time was like, "Aw, like he's fulfilling her dreams." And now, whatever it is, like 8 years later, they're like, "That horrible monster pedophile." I think you move the goalpost at your own peril. Because then you can look back on other shit and then accuse everybody of stuff.
That's always been a rule. You can't like hang out with like kids.
No. I'm not talking about hanging out. I'm talking about, let's say a 16-year-old is a huge fan of Justin Bieber, right? Guy or girl. And they message him being like, "Yo, I'm such a huge fan. I'm going to go see you in Denver when you come to appear in Denver, Colorado, whatever."
Okay.
And are you not allowed to respond back and say, "Awesome, can't wait to see you at the show"? Personally, I think that's fine. I think you're allowed to respond.
It definitely got to a sexual place. So.
Right, that's what I'm saying. So 1
different.
response begets 2 responses. 2 responses begets 8 response. You know what I'm trying to say? It can snowball into something that's not great. But then here's my other question is, because of the lack of information around this, how do we know that she didn't say something like sexual and then he just kind of said like, "Ha, okay," and then that was like his response, and now he's considered sexting with a minor because she said, or she sent images or something like that, and then he just responded, "Haha, okay," and then stopped responding.
Yeah, I don't know. That's a good question.
I just feel like I need more information. Like, I don't want to take a guy's everything away before I get the information. Now, if it comes out, obviously, that he knew that she was, let's make it something legitimate, like 15 or below, right? He knew that. And then he continued talking to her, and then he turned it sexual, or when she turned it sexual, he kind of played back at her. Then yes, condemn him, do all you're gonna do. But until I get that information, I'm not ready to go that way. And then the reason why I said 15 or below is because the U.S., even in the U.S., if you're in Pennsylvania, did you know that you can hook up with a 16-year-old versus if you're in New York, it's 18?
I did know that.
Literally a 30-minute drive changes your, basically, life in prison. Or whether they're going to cut your cock off versus...
I don't know what the law is. Like, isn't the law, like, if you've been together for 2 years or something? Or, like, 1 year? Or, like, isn't there a term?
Those are called Romeo and Juliet laws. Forget those for a minute.
Oh, yeah.
Imagine if you're a 30-year-old and there's a 16-year-old. If you live in the state of Pennsylvania, age of consent by state. Look at this. If you live in the state of Nevada, of course Nevada, right? It's going to be 16 years old. But if you're in Florida, which is...
I'm surprised Florida's actually higher
Hold on.
than most.
If you're in Florida, which is where we are now, it's 18 years old.
Yeah, I'm kinda
Most
surprised
people
about that.
think that 18 is across the board. It's not. It's actually most states are 16 if you look at it. Which in my opinion is wild, but I also think that I also think that it's arbitrary, kind of, right, to pick an age, right?
Yeah, pretty much.
Like, what are you basing it off of 16 versus 18? I think a lot of people are person by person. I've met 18-year-olds who are fucking 12 like up here, and I've met 18-year-olds who are like 35. It's really person by person.
No, it's definitely person
guys,
by person.
guys and girls. So I think the whole question is arbitrary, first of all, but you have to have a line somewhere, even though it's arbitrary. But I think it should be uniform. Like, why is the country...
It should be uniform.
The country should have one set standard. It should be 16 or 17 or 18, but make it standard and then have it be where it's at. But also don't pretend that a 16-year-old is the same as a 4-year-old or a 5-year-old.
That's the
It's
same
not.
with driving, because I've heard a lot of people in New Jersey and New York flying to like Michigan or Pennsylvania
To get their license.
to get their license, because you can do it at 16 there instead of 17.
And also, I have people who lived up in... Is Buffalo here or here?
It's like, yeah, like the second one.
Okay, here. So I've had people in Buffalo that walk across into Canada because apparently there's a huge casino right here.
Windsor.
Yeah, and they do that,
I've
and
been to that one.
they get drunk and they get fucked
It's a
up.
Casino Niagara.
And they
fucking place.
Yeah, and all this stuff because they can just walk across the border at 18 and do all this stuff in Canada that they can't do in New York. I mean, the whole thing's pretty goofy at the end of the day. And
That place. Well, when I was at school in Boston, we used to go to play poker in Rhode Island.
yeah, I mean, the whole thing is so goofy. It's like, I just think it's all arbitrary, and I don't know why we do it like this. I think this is just so stupid.
Casino Niagara sucks, though. I hate that place.
Mm-hmm.
Mostly because I lost there.
Anyway,
Okay, so
I think that was all the points I wanted to mention on him. That like we need more information, and there's a difference between 17 and 12. In my opinion, there's a big difference between 17 and 12.
yeah, there is.
So let's figure it out. If it's 12, then condemn him. If it's 17, then I think he should go to some counseling. I think he should go to marriage counseling for sure. If you have a wife and kids,
that's pretty bad.
And then let him get back to streaming after that. You know, it's like, I don't know, like we try to hold everyone up randomly to being like the Pope when something goes down. Really quick segue, like the Louis C.K. situation that happened back when like Me Too was at its height. He was one of the filthiest, most disturbed comedians ever. And then he got caught, with a sex allegation thing.
I saw him like 7 months ago. It was pretty funny, actually.
And then everybody tried to everyone tried to hold him to the same standard that you would hold like a kindergarten teacher to. It's like, that's not the adequate fucking standard. He's a dirty ass comedian. And I guess you guys all of a sudden wanted to make him like a family man when something went down, but that's not who he ever claimed to be. So
yeah, no, I saw him like 7 months ago. He was funny, bro.
he's hilarious. He's not just funny; he's hilarious.
Yeah, he's very funny.
And I think that we accused him at our own peril. Like as far as canceling him, I think cancel culture went to a really dark place.
I also don't know the details behind him. I didn't even know about the allegations until like an hour before I saw him. I was like, really? I was like, I don't know.
Yeah, well, all right, that was Dr. Disrespect.